All right. Let's check out some comments, huh? All right. Let's check out a video. Let's go with this one here. All right. Go ahead and pause that real quick. Let's go down to the comments. Check out mainly positive, positive. Wait. What's this one?
Wow! Tell them that we do it for the 90s.
Cowabunga, dudes. Yeah, that's right. We're here to talk about 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle live action movie. Love this thing. My wife had even got me the movie cards. This is a complete inbox. We got movie cards in there, stickers for the new hit movie. Love it. It's kind of based off the thumbnail right there. Guys, I love the Ninja Turtles. The 1990 movie was iconic for me. Let's have a little backstory. So we're going to rewind the tape a little bit, go back to the early 80s. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is supposed to be about the 90s movie. This is building up to it. Trust me, we need to understand what happened throughout the 80s before we can appreciate what happened in the 90s. So in the early 80s, Peter Laird, Kevin Eastman, they met, over comics. Peter asked Kevin to come over. First thing Kevin Eastman notices, a signed original Jack Kirby. Just a beautiful piece of artwork hanging on the wall. Now, of course, this would just make that bond grow stronger and stronger because they both have that just fondness for Jack Kirby. They both wanted to be Jack Kirby, and rightfully so. The dude was a legend. So, over this formed friendship from that beautiful sketch, which ultimately led to the Turtles, the two got to work on making some comics of their own. The first one they did, not a hit. The Fugitoid was not a success. They sent it out to companies, and they got plenty of rejection back. It's hard to make something right out of the gate be a success. I.e., look at this channel. I mean, it's not a success yet, but we're going to keep growing, we're going to keep learning, we're going to keep improving. Anyways, back to these amazing gentlemen. So one night at Mirage Studios, which was really just their living room. I love that. Work from home, call it Mirage Studios, legends. The running joke with that is just amazing that it's a mirage, that it's a studio. Anyways, Kevin Eastman that night was like, I'm going to draw something to make Peter laugh. What did he draw? He ended up drawing what would be the first Ninja Turtle. Peter saw that, joined in, and started drawing. They ended up both creating Ninja Turtles, 4 of them, and they came up with the name Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So after that fateful night, we were blessed with the day or month, May 1984, with the release of this beautiful thing. Now, obviously, this isn't the first print or just even the comic book. This is actually issues 1 through 7, plus the one-shots of Raphael and Michelangelo. But this is an amazing piece to thumb through, and the color, the artwork, it's gorgeous. Obviously, I would love a first print of the very first issue, but I don't have roughly $30,000 for a 9.4. That's insane. That being said, on the first release, they had 3,275 copies, which did not last long. So obviously, with that huge amount of success, not only with the first issue, but the continuing issues selling thousands into hundreds of thousands, the comic book world loved the Turtles. Now, they were having a lot of feedback about getting licensing. Enter Mark Friedman. Now, Mark Friedman's a key component because he is the big reason why this movie came to life. So, the success with the comics was huge. Mark Friedman wanted to help. He's always about moving forward, i.e., we got the licensing. Let's go out to a company. Let's find a toy company and see if we can create toys or, grow this thing. In comes Playmates. So Playmates said, based off the comics, it was way too violent to create an action figure out this. It's not really marketable right now. We need to do something to make it marketable. 1987, greatest year ever. I'm not just saying that because I was born in 1987, but it coincides with the creation of the greatest cartoon ever, which I do have the complete series in the actual turtle van sitting over there in my retro corner. The 1987 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon series was a smash hit, and that gave the green light for Playmates to create the toys. And did they ever? You want to talk about so many variations of the exact same turtle figure, but doing Star Trek, doing basketball, doing detective work. They had so many pieces of this toy line. The early 90s were coming up, and Mark Freeman knew we can't just sit here. We've got to keep moving forward. That's how we got a cartoon. That's how we got toys. We don't want this thing to run stagnant or run dry. His thought was, let's make a live action movie. And he was laughed at. So Mark Freeman got a hold of Golden Harvest Pictures. Why? Because Golden Harvest Pictures had an incredible lineup of stuntmen who could stunt as the Turtles and stunt as the Foot Soldiers and Shredder. But the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway they had was Jim Henson, the maestro of Muppets. This guy was an absolute legend. What he did for the Turtles and even for Splinter, which was very tricky to move, just revolutionized the game and really made the Turtles come to life. Jim Henson was part of the first one, and then the second one, The Secret of the Ooze. I believe during production, unfortunately, he had passed away, which is why in the third one, it was just a total flop. The Turtles looked off. It was not a good movie. Even though I own all three and I'll still watch it, at the end of the day, it was not a good movie. The first one, however, huge success. March 1990 is when it was released. And this was the biggest indie movie ever, raking in $134 million, which in 1990 is mind-blowing. And that held all the way up to 1999 when the Blair Witch Project came out. And the marketing behind that movie was brilliant. I cannot wait to make an episode on that because the way they marketed that movie, it made you believe that it was real. But that's for another time. We're talking about 1990. We're talking about at the beginning of the decade. These Turtles came to life, and it blew everyone's mind. It was so good. So freaking good. Now, the crazy thing, too, you saw the success with the cartoon, and they were able to make a toy line. There was the success with the movie. You think they'd have a toy line. There was no toys made for the original movie. Now, they have made some, kind of down the line, they've made some toys to kind of, oh, yeah, look, this is the original. But the initial release had no toys made, which was mind-blowing. So now we're caught up, and now I get to talk about why I love this movie so much. I think I want to first talk about the fact that the scenes where there were no Ninja Turtles in it, you didn't think this was a turtle movie. It looked like a late 80s, early 90s crime movie, which I think brought in a lot more viewers than just saying, oh, it's a Ninja Turtle movie. And then when the Turtles were in it, it was just great action. But I think another thing that made it so awesome was that this movie went back to its roots. So the intellectual properties, Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman still had last say. And one of the things they wanted to do was make it more like the original comic, which if you look at some of the scenes, they go honestly shot for shot with the panels of the first book, the first print, to a T. And it's funny because at the end of the movie, it looks like Shredder is killed. In the comic, he actually was killed, but with a thermite grenade, not Casey Jones going, whoops.
Without honor. Oops!
with the garbage truck. So what they did was beautiful. They took away from the first comic book, the very first issue, but they also kept it lighthearted. The pizza and everything, with the colors, the bandanas, they each had their own colors. In the original, they only had red, so you couldn't tell them apart unless it was their weapons. So I thought that was beautifully orchestrated to give it the callback to the original, and I love that Eastman and Laird, they said, yeah, let's go this route with it, which it had that dark, gritty tone that was completely opposite from the cartoon, but I think that's what drew in a large crowd. The second one got a little bit more lighthearted, The Secret of the Ooze, and the third one just went off the rails. Again, that's a different story. So if I had to say, me personally, this is the greatest comic book adaptation to a movie ever. I mean, it could be argued. You could have your own opinion on it. Leave your comment down below and tell me what you think. What was your absolute favorite comic book movie adaptation? For me, this is it. I think this hit the nail on the head. Does it hold up to this day? Not so much, especially this scene. But that being said, I think it is so true to the comic and also takes a bit from what the cartoon was so great. So it's kind of all encompassing of what made the historic run in the 80s for the Ninja Turtles pop off in the 90s. And I mean, go on and on and on. But wait, that can't be all of the review. No, it's not. Now I got 10 fun facts to lay on you. Fun fact number 1, the Foot Clan is a parody of the Hand, a clan of ninjas from Daredevil comics from Marvel. Fun fact number 2, did you know that the actors that physically portrayed the Turtles had cameos throughout the movie? Well, they did. Josh Pace, who plays Raphael, plays a passenger in the back of a taxi cab right after Raphael hops on the cab's hood.
What the heck was that?
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
Michelin Sisti, who plays Michelangelo, plays the pizza delivery man who delivers the pizza to the turtle sewer.
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
I gotta get a new route.
Leif Tilden, who plays Donatello, plays the foot messenger that meets April in the subway station.
I deliver a message. Shut it.
David Foreman, who plays Leonardo, plays a gang member in the warehouse during Casey's fight with Tatsu. He is the one on Tatsu's right who takes a drag of a cigarette. Fun fact number 3. Toward the end of the movie, one of the street punks, played by Sam Rockwell, great actor, tells the police chief to check out the East Warehouse over on Lairdman Island.
Check out the East Warehouse over Lairdman Island.
Which is obviously a nod to the Turtles creators, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. However, the original script stated that the warehouse was on the corner of Lairdman and East. Fun fact number 4, and this is a funny one, the word damn was actually said 6 times in this movie. 4 times by Raphael.
Damn!
Once by Michelangelo.
Ninja kick the damn rabbit!
And once by Donatello.
Damn girl.
Fun fact number 5, all of the shirts that Danny wears in the film have a picture of Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious on them. And here's what's funny. Growing up, I didn't listen to the Sex Pistols, and Into the Turtles, I watched this movie over and over and over, to the point where it met up when Toy Story came out. So when Toy Story came out, and I would watch that over and over, I kept hearing the word Sid, and then when I went back to watch the Ninja Turtle, and I see Sid all over the shirts, I immediately associated with that, even though they're not even close to related. That's just a fun little sidebar for you. Fun fact number 6. In the foot warehouse, the boxes on the foreground near the skate halfpipe read Mirage. And what's awesome about that is we covered Mirage Studios is where it all started, their living room, which was their studio, and it's just an homage of where this all came from. And the fact that the movie came from that original comic, the first issue, that's a huge homage right there. Fun fact number 7, when Raphael got knocked into the trash can by Casey Jones, the face and the animatronics inside had caved in and broke the stuntman's nose. As Raph gets up from the trash can, he can be seen grabbing his nose area before the shot cuts. Now, Raph's original stuntman is replaced by one of the foot soldier stuntmen named Ken Scott. Ken did a lot of major scenes as a foot soldier, including the nunchuck face-off against Michelangelo. That's an interesting fact. Fun fact number 8, in the beginning sewer scene, a Domino's No toy can be seen in the water. Fun fact number 9, the scene at the farmhouse where one of the turtles is on the rooftop screaming Splinter was voiced by Raphael, but if you look carefully, the turtle that's standing there is actually Michelangelo. And finally, fun fact number 10. In the movie, Michelangelo hates anchovies on pizza.
And I mean no anchovies. You put anchovies on this thing and you're in big trouble, okay?
But he likes them in the cartoon.
I just can't resist an anchovy and hot fudge pizza.
And there you have it, guys. That's my review of 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action. I love that even before I was born, my life had changed forever. The early 80s, when Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman came together to create this beautiful world that I've cherished and that my kids are starting to cherish now that they're growing up. So now at the point where you leave a comment down below, for me, this was my favorite comic book adaptation. Was it yours? What is yours? Or did you enjoy the fun facts? Perhaps you have more fun facts about the movie and you want to leave me a comment down below. Let me know. I love to engage with you guys. Love chatting. I love building the community based around the 90s. I feel like that was an amazing decade. And speaking of which, we have a lot more to come. IRL content where I'm going to cons, I'm going to flea markets, I'm going to garage sales, going to film it, going to do so much more, and I would love for you guys to come with me on this journey. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video, and we'll see you next time for more awesome 90s content.